that unboiled and unraveled yesterday. Um, and a little bit today as well too. But before we go ahead and move forward, go ahead and like and subscribe to our channel, and it helps us know that we're doing a good job, as well as helps the YouTube algorithm as well. All right, so without further ado, let's move forward. So first and foremost, we got Mass Effect Legendary Edition approves the original trilogy, but not enough for us to replay it, right? So one of the biggest tragedies of the last generation of consoles is that it only saw a single Mass Effect game, Mass Effect Andromeda, which was received tepidly at best. That's set to change with Mass Effect Legendary Edition, a remaster of the original 3 games in the Mass Effect trilogy for PS4 and Xbox One, and by extension Xbox Series X and PS5 by the virtue of those consoles being backward compatible. So that's pretty interesting, guys. Let's see what does that mean for a lot of players, right? So this PS4 and Xbox One remaster doesn't have the gravitational mass to pull us back in, right? So that's set to change with Mass Effect Legendary Edition, a remaster of the 3 games in the Mass Effect trilogy for PS4 and Xbox One, and by extension Xbox Series X and PS5, by the virtue of those consoles being made backwards compatible, right? Like we were saying before. For those that miss BioWare space opera action RPG with beloved romanceable characters and frenetic varied combat, Legendary Edition will apply a new coat of paint to the game with 4K textures and lighting effects, as well as add significantly more customization options for the trilogy's protagonist, Commander Shepard. But what about folks who have already traveled to the Milky Way to fight off the Reapers, right? For us, Legendary Edition's lack of substantial new content and features like Dolby Atmos, spatial audio, ray tracing, or Tempest Auto support on PS5 might mean that, like Andromeda, the remastered trilogy may not have the gravitational mass to pull us back in for another tour of duty, right? So rebuilding Shepard for the second time, right? So one of the most pivotal points in the original series is Shepard's rebirth at the start of the Mass Effect 2, which allowed the creators to take a second stab at the game's graphics and gameplay. The second game, the one many fondly remember as the series' best, had better, smoother combat, more varied skill trees, which thrived by refining the slower moving, awkward combat of the original. It's a story that really echoes the ethos team and is bringing to Legendary Edition, which feels like rebuilding this beloved trilogy around modern technology now that they've um, have some space apart, right? So according to Crystal McCord, the game's producer, the development team met with modelers, with moders, cosplayers, and superfans of the franchise to see what improvements they wanted and tried to implement them. So very interesting, guys. All right, so that's just a little bit news about Mass Effect for you guys that really play it on the PS4 and Xbox One. That's just a little bit news on it. If you want to learn more news on it, go ahead and follow us on LinkedIn. We'll leave a link in the description, and you can click into the article for more information. Moreover, we got Apple's next Mac OS Big Sur update should make iPad apps look less awkward on the Mac, right? So Apple just yesterday released its latest update for Mac OS Big Sur with improved Bluetooth reliability and handful of bug fixes. And today it's rolling out the first beta of Mac OS Big Sur 11.3, which will bring further refinements to Safari, reminders, Apple Music, Apple News, and other apps. This update will also try to improve the experience of running iPhone and iPad apps on M1 Max, which can still be a little awkward at the early stage and without a touchscreen display. So that's very interesting, guys. So let's read more into this. How is that going to look, really, right? So you have iPad OS apps will now appear larger than before if your screen size allows for it, and beta testers will find a new preference pin for iPhone and iPad apps that'll let them better personalize the touch alternatives keyboards commands. Touch alternatives allow for keyboard alternatives for tap, swipe, and drag gestures, and enables multi-finger gestures using the Option key and trackpad. Right, so we got the Big Sur 11.3 will make Safari start page more customable, letting you rearrange the different sections, favorites, reading lists, and Siri suggestions, etc. to your own liking. Developers will gain the ability to make extensions that run on the new tab page, and they could also take advantage of the new web speech API to integrate speech recognition on their web pages. As for the Reminders app, you'll be able to sort your reminders based on title, due date, priority, and creation date. And with this update, Apple will let you easily print your reminders if a paper copy might prove helpful when running to the store or completing other tasks. Apple Music could get small tweaks like a shortcut to your made for you personalized playlists and mixes. Live and upcoming special events will be highlighted for you in your tab as well. So the Apple News app is undergoing some design improvements in the Apple News Plus tab to make your magazines and newspapers easier to reach and download. And unlike the upcoming iOS 14.5 update, macOS Big Sur 11.3 adds support for the latest Xbox and PlayStation DualSense controllers. The same compatibility is coming to Apple's mobile devices as part of iOS 14.5. Wow, so that is pretty amazing, guys. So you got the Mac OS Big Sur update. It's going to make iPad apps look way less awkward on the MacBook, which is amazing, right? So you guys that flip between MacBook and iPad, or for you guys that don't even use the iPad, you use the MacBook, and that's something that I would definitely relate to. iPad, I don't really use. I haven't used an iPad ever since high school, really. I just would just hop on the computer, and if you can have the apps running really well, then obviously the less awkward it looks, the more intuitive and engaging it will feel. All right. Moreover, we have the cloud for Windows version that you sync Apple passwords is no longer available, right? So some of you guys, that could be good news. Some of you guys, honestly, that could be bad news, right? So Apple's rocky rollout for iCloud password sync on Windows has hit another bump. You can no longer download the version of the app that allowed syncing passwords from your Apple devices with your Chrome web browser on Windows PC, right? So version 12 of Apple iClouds for Windows app released last week with supposed support for the feature, but the Chrome extension to make it work wasn't available until 2 days ago. Now version 12 is gone from the Windows Store, with version 11.6 taking its place. Wow. So, for you guys, again, this is a new update that, you know, um, that's on the Windows version for iCloud, right? So, like I said, this could be a good or bad thing for depending on, you know, how you like your privacy. Overall, I think that it is a good thing, right? It doesn't store your or sync your Apple passwords in case maybe if you sell off your computer, you forgot to disable iCloud on your computer. Obviously, people have access to your passwords. Holding your passwords on the cloud could have, detrimental effects, depending on which cloud, but mostly for Apple, you'd want to be smart with that, right? So that's another feature that they are rolling out, right? So another other big news as well too that when I read this I was pretty surprised. So Amazon will have a new CEO as Jeff Bezos transitions to executive chair later this year. So Amazon CEO Jeff Bezos will step down as CEO and transition to a new position at the company as executive chair of the Amazon board in Q3 of 2021. So Andy Jassy, who currently serves as CEO of Amazon Web Services, AWS, will replace Bezos as Amazon CEO, guys. And this is honestly this is an internal transition for the company. It's not like some like other companies do. It's like where they're hiring another CEO or another president outside to come in. This is something that will be internal. This is something that Amazon, is definitely taking a step forward with. And you see Andy Jassy, she's been with, as you can see, we'll read in the article, she's been with Amazon, ever since the beginning days, right? And AWS, Amazon, the cloud service, AWS is very, very high, top notch, guys. So as you can see, right, so we'll move forward, right? Moreover, being the CEO of Amazon is a deep responsibility. Um, According to the Washington Post, and it's consuming. When you have a responsibility like that, it's hard to put attention on anything else, commented Bezos in an email announcing the change. An exec chair, I will stay as exec chair, I will stay engaged in important Amazon initiatives, but also have the time and energy I need to focus on the Day One Fund, the Bezos Earth Fund, Origin, the Washington Post, and my other passions as well. All right, so Bezos has served Amazon CEO since he founded the company in 1994 and has presided over the e-commerce giant as it grew from an online bookstore into one of the most dominant technology companies in the world. So, under Bezos' stewardship, Amazon has come to rule over the internet commerce, establish itself as a backbone of infrastructure of modern web through its Amazon Web Services products, built a subscription empire around its Amazon Prime services, launched a popular technology products like Echo and Kindle and lines of devices, even started dabbing in physical retail through grocery stores and acquisition of Whole Foods. Right, so Bezos also has prospered as head of the company with skyrocketing wealth that until just a few weeks ago made him the single richest human on earth and a net worth of nearly $180 billion. That's right, guys, $180 billion. Bezos' transition to executive chairman of Amazon's board will mean he'll be slightly more removed from the day-to-day business of running with the nearly $1.7 trillion company, allowing him to focus his energies and attention on new products and early initiatives. Those projects will include $10 billion Bezos Earth Fund, which Bezos established last year, and Blue Origin's his aerospace film, which recently resumed test flights at the end of 2020. Jassy is a familiar face of the company. Having joined back in 1997, he has led the Amazon Web Services team since it was founded in 2003. Was named the CEO of AWS in 2016, guys. This is Jassy, guys. This is what I was saying. Jassy has been there since day one, back since 1997, right? This is when Amazon wasn't even popular, guys. When you have a CEO stepping up to fill your position that was, somebody that was a ride or die with you from the get-go, this is something that makes sense. So this is why I believe Amazon will continue to keep innovating. Amazon will be continue to be a threat, and they will continue to be a force, right? So the choice of Jassy, who has headed Amazon's cloud service business since the beginning, over a retail or hardware executive, is telling one for Amazon's priorities as a company. Amazon's cloud business is a huge part of the company and the internet at large, to point where AWS outages can take down one whole swath of the internet for hours, and its new leadership choice reflects that. It's also parallel to other major tech CEOs like Microsoft's Satya Nadella, who was similarly an instrumental part of the company's cloud and server business before taking charge of Microsoft in 2014. It'll still be some time before Jassy takes over, though Bezos isn't set to transition to his new role until quarter 3 of 2021, guys. So towards the end of 2021, guys, probably, probably towards, July, August area, we will start to see some more, actual action on that, right? So that's just some information, right? Some big news on Amazon, right, guys? um, Other big news, guys, we have Uber announced, actually, I believe just yesterday, that it's buying alcohol delivery service Drizzly in a deal worth of $1.1 billion as the ride-sharing company continues to build out its stable of food and other delivery services, right? So Drizzly, guys, if you guys don't know what Drizzly is an alcoholic beverage delivery service. So Drizzly's not available like in any suburb city. So I've personally tried Drizzly when I was staying in Boston. I had the luxury and honestly, the opportunity to stay in Boston at a penthouse, and back in 2018, and in that area, it was winter, it was cold, but it was just beautiful staying in the penthouse, seeing the views and everything. I still have the pictures and videos of everything that I did. It was just amazing. But around that time, honestly, lots of money was going around. It still is going around. But honestly, they have services like that where you can hop on your app, you download Drizzly, and they bring the alcohol to your apartment and to your condo, right, or to your penthouse or wherever, right? But they're pretty much in cities that have actually, that are very affluent. So I was staying in Boston, so really in the heart of Boston. So I think it was either I think it was Seaport. It was definitely near Seaport, but definitely lots of money there, lots of business there, lots of tech innovations, lots of things going on there. But it was just great, guys, and they're very quick. They're amazing. So the fact that Uber, guys, is taking over and is buying the alcohol delivery service Drizzly for $1.1 billion, that's a great acquisition. And the fact that I mean, not Amazon, Uber now is getting in the field of actually doing, car delivery of actually picking and people, car sharing ride services, right? And Uber Foods, right? Uber Eats, just like DoorDash. And now they're doing alcohol, guys. Imagine just buying from Uber Eats, but also having the opportunity to get beer or wine or whatever. I mean, this is just amazing. This is beautiful, right? So, moreover, guys, as you can now get Apple Silicon M1 as a service, cloud computing from firm Scaleway has announced that it's offering Apple M1 instances, representing the first M1 as a service solution in Europe. The new cloud instance will give Apple fans the chance to experience the impressive performance of its new M1 chip as part of the subscription payment plan. Excuse me, guys. So, that is definitely something that is happening, guys. Right? If you want to read more about that, guys, you can go ahead and follow us on LinkedIn. Our page is Electronic Editions. We'll leave a link in the description below on YouTube as well, so you can go ahead and subscribe to our channel. All right, so we talked about news about Mass Effect as well. Um, these are the best online courses to learn in Spanish in 2021, right? So we all know that mastering a new programming language can surely have a positive impact on your career, but did you know that speaking multiple languages can also give you a similar competitive edge? In today's global marketplace, being bilingual or even multilingual greatly enhances your resume. Right, so these are the best online courses to take in 2021. So we have number one as AIB Network. This is best for beginners, right? You have the reasons to get this course and to become a part of this is because one, it's free, so free beats anything. That's awesome. Two, it's that focuses on new users. Three, it's that it's useful in tips. You have four, which is Coursera. So many of you guys have probably heard of this. Best for building vocabulary. Reasons to buy is because this is comprehensive, builds a working vocabulary and useful reading material as well. You have number three as Butterfly Spanish, right? So this is best for busy people, right? This covers frequently used phrases, explains nuances, and puts phrases into context, which can be very helpful. You have number four as Spanish and Go. This is best for travelers, right? So designed for travelers, explains cultural nuances, and you have that as well. You have number five as Duolingo. So Google Duo, so it's about Duo and then all one word lingo, Duolingo, best language learning app. Right, so it's free, which is awesome. It has a engaging experience and tailored as per skill. So check those, courses out, guys. Check those services. Like I said, some of them are free. So if you want to learn more, if you want to get more information on the article, go ahead and follow us on LinkedIn, and you can click more onto the article to learn more information about that as well. All right. So, moreover, we got Microsoft planning special gaming, cloud, and Windows events in the coming months. So, Microsoft is planning a series of new events over the next coming months that will focus on categories like gaming, cloud, and Windows. The Verge has learned that Microsoft is dedicating time to particular categories at a time when the pandemic has halted in person events. Microsoft's first event will take place later this week, focusing on what's next for work and Microsoft 365. So be ready, guys. Microsoft is planning a lot, especially on gaming, cloud, and Windows events in the next coming months, guys. So there's a lot of works, being done with Apple, with Google, with Microsoft. A lot of these big companies, even Uber, even Amazon, a lot of these big companies are really, you know, are going into development mode where they're developing, new gaming, new cloud services, new service. So let's just be excited and let's be thankful, for the opportunity so we can end up using them and providing good feedback. All right. So lastly, we got Tesla has agreed to recall cars with failing displays, guys. So if you have a Tesla right now, it has a failing display, don't worry. Tesla has agreed to recall more than 134,000 Model S sedans and Model X SUVs that will eventually suffer from faulty displays after pressure from the leading U.S. safety regulator, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. Tesla announced that the recall to customers in an email, according to Electric, and said a software update could allow them to keep accessing crucial features like the backup camera in the meantime if their displays fail. Right, so be cautious of that. Let's see if they're working on it actively or if they plan to work on it within the next few weeks. Let's see more information about that. I know some of you guys are Tesla drivers, some of you guys that tune into this channel, so let's see what's going on here, right? So it looks like the problem that prompted the recall has to do with the 8 gigabyte eMMC NAND flash memory device that Tesla used in its massive touchscreen display on most 2012 to 2018 Model S sedans and 2016 to 2018 Model X SUVs. These chips eventually wear out, as Motherboard first reported back in 2019, and when they do, it breaks the entire media control unit, cutting off access to not only the backup camera, which is now federally required, but also HVAC controls and everything else that Tesla has routed through the touchscreen, which is pretty much everything, guys. When you're thinking about it, when you're driving a Tesla, you're going through the main screen to get to everything. The heaters, the wipers, the heating system, the AC, to play music, right? So even the GPS, like to play games, there's a lot of things, guys. So they definitely need to fix this, guys. It's also affecting the turn signal lights, according to the agency. NHTSA says all the increases the risk. All this says all this increases the risk of a crash, which is true. So the NHTSA started an investigation into failures last year, and during that process, Tesla eventually told the agency that every car with the flash chip will inevitably fail. Tesla told NHTSA that it could take as long as 8 years to swap out all the defective parts if a recall wasn't issued, with most failures happening around 2022. Tesla did not appear to want to recall cars initially, prompting the NHTSA to take the unusual step of publishing a public letter requesting the recall last month. Now, Tesla has committed to the recall. On February 1st, NHTSA sent another letter confirming that Tesla will begin a recall for March 30th, covering an estimated 134,000 vehicles. Right, so that's a lot of vehicles. So the NHTSA notes that in this letter, Tesla still does not believe the brick displays cause a safety risk. Owners can call Tesla customer service at 1-877-798-3752 for more information. And the company's reference number for the recall is SB2121001. They can call NHTSA's Vehicle Safety Hotline at 1-888-327-4236 or go to safercar.gov for more information. So in the email to owners, Tesla says it will upgrade the eMMC chip fee free of charge with an enhanced 64 gigabyte eMMC. The company says it will notify owners when parts become available and ask that they not schedule a service appointment unless their vehicles display bricks or they get an alert about memory storage. Owners who already paid Tesla to repair the issue may be eligible for reimbursement, which the company says it will share more information by the end of March. Tesla has been offering to swap the media control unit altogether for $1,500 in exchange for a more powerful version with new features and which presumably will not fail. In the meantime, Tesla says owners will not lose access to backup camera, turn signal, or base steering or base setting for windshield defogging and defrosting if the chip fails, as long as owners upgrade their vehicle software to version 2020.48.12. All right, guys. So that's for you Tesla fanboys, for you people that drive Tesla. Go ahead and if you have a problem, go ahead and reach out to the Tesla for more customer support or the vehicle safety hotline as well. Okay. So that's pretty much that's some news that occurred yesterday, some big news that happened yesterday, guys. And honestly, more big news will continue to keep happening. We'll continue to keep breaking big news for you guys on a daily basis. So if you guys want to go ahead and look up more news of what's happening, just in terms of software,